She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks Podcast.
Damn good coffee. And hot. Would everyone please take a seat?
Welcome to the Twin Peaks Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Mel. I'm Clark.
I'm Caitlin.
Oh wait, I should have said I'm Tina.
Yeah.
Who is Tina anyways?
I don't know. Who's anybody? Yeah. And let's welcome our guest, Evan.
Yay!
Yay!
Hello. I'm ready to just regale you with all of my insights and monologues.
Yes.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Not really.
Oh.
I'm disappointed.
I'm pretty quiet.
Okay, so yeah, this we're here to talk about episode 12. Evan, you've been on before. I don't recall if we asked you your Twin Peaks story, your history with Twin Peaks, did we?
I mean, you might have.
We can go over that again.
Or you can just say what you think of this new series so far. It's up to you.
We can give a refresher for the new listeners, okay. I guess. Although I don't approve of these fanhood tests you keep issuing, Matt.
It's just to give context for the listeners.
No, I think it's so you know who the real fans are. I'm actually glad you asked, because I remembered the other day my first experience with Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Which was when it was first on, and the only thing I remember is them pulling the thing out from under the fingernail, and that fucked me up for a week.
Aww.
That was
and then I think my parents were like, you know, because I was like 9 when it aired, so I think my parents were like, this doesn't show in our house anymore. But I came back and watched the whole thing when I was a grown-up and was recording an episode of my own podcast several years ago, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But, I think you're going to like get an impression of how I feel about this season as we go, so we'll just save that.
Alrighty. Well,
no spoilers.
Yeah. Opinion spoilers, the worst spoilers.
The worst of all. I'm just trying to keep the show moving, Matt.
Okay. Stop interrupting me then. You son of a bitch. I apologize. Episode 12. Starts out with the FBI, and they're letting Tammy Preston onto the Blue Rose team because she's so awesome, guys.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I mean, I sensed it.
Yeah. What stood out to me here is that they've had her on their radar since she got honors in high school. Do they just have a list of every honors student in high school?
I am creeped out by the idea of Gordon Cole keeping an eye on her since she was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's when she went on the official radar.
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
Yeah, so there was radar before that.
That's the unofficial radar.
Oh no.
This whole, we're really getting into some exposition, Blue Rose, UFOs, we're in Mark Frost land, firmly in this little segment.
Yeah.
And, mansies, I feel like this series it's really, for me, we're hitting a lot of the worst of Mark Frost and the worst of David Lynch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never want to hear the word UFO. I know we heard it in the original series. Didn't like it then.
But
don't
they
like it
dismissed
now.
They dismissed it back then, and now it's back.
God.
But
Can I ask you guys something about this scene?
Okay.
Was any of the information they conveyed in this scene new to you?
Well, I mean, we always assumed that Blue Rose was connected to Blue Book, and that's confirmed here.
I don't think I remember the Blue Rose being named after a quote from a woman involved in the cases.
Which we'll probably never find out what that's about.
No.
But, there's also the fact that, Gordon recruited Jeffries, and then there could be a, continuity error here, because he says Gordon recruited Jeffries, he then recruited Chet Desmond, Agent Cooper, and me. But I don't know who the he refers to. If the he refers to Philip Jeffries, then it's a continuity error because Gordon.
I thought he meant himself.
Yeah, it has to be, otherwise they got it wrong.
I also like, again, with this show, like, really, like, explaining things, like, I don't like knowing the specifics of this. I don't want to know exactly how many people were on this Blue Rose task force.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the things people keep saying this show's not doing, it's not spelling everything out, it's not just a bunch of fan service. That's exactly what it's doing. And that's a huge problem.
The real fan service is later in the scene, though.
When Diane enters through the red curtains.
And at the very end.
Let's rock thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's rock.
Well, what's with these curtains, like, making, like, a square box around this corner of a room? Like
It's in the hotel.
Silence.
in a hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Maybe they have like this pop-up curtain system that they carry around with them.
We just need to install this real quick for privacy. FBI business.
It's Gordon Cole. He loves, he likes to make things mysterious.
Yeah.
Yet he has Diane text before entering the curtain.
And like she couldn't hear their conversation.
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think those are like magic curtains? Soundproof magic
I
curtains?
was not standing right outside the curtain. I was far away, and I sent you that text.
On the other side of the curtain, it all sounds like Charlie Brown talk.
Oh, nice.
It's Gordon Cole's cone of silence.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I thought of too.
Oh my. I really
Um,
enjoyed watching David Lynch using his phone. like backing his hand up like really, really far and then pressing on it. I thought that was kind of adorable.
See, Mel, you're being positive already.
That's the one thing. I told you I would have the one thing that I'd be positive about. And I've met my quota. I don't have to be positive about anything else. Did you have any notes on this scene, Caitlin?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it brought any. I just really enjoyed watching Tammy's reaction to being brought into the club.
Like her facial contortions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? Did you think that was some good acting or bad acting from Christabel?
I didn't think either. I thought this is actually the first time she's showing some actual emotion.
Yes.
Other than, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. There's like finally a little bit of emotion.
I wonder if now that she's in the club, she'll act like a normal human being.
She was just trying to impress them before.
Yeah, maybe like you could, if you wanted to be forgiving to her character, you could say that she's just like kind of trying to be as serious as possible and as professional as possible. Although I don't know some of the stuff she was doing was not ultra professional. But whatever.
And then as they were listing all of her accomplishments, I was like, oh, maybe she's just supposed to be like this super driven, accomplished person who's just super weird, doesn't know how to interact with people.
Yeah, probably.
I think she's supposed to be the new Cooper. Because, I mean, they're both... It's very possible that Tammy and Dale Cooper are both possibly insect alien people. Like...
Yes.
I mean, it's not that far of a stretch.
I think Cooper had more character than she does.
Well, yeah.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
But they're both super weird.
Cooper's
Guys,
like
just wait. She's gonna get good.
Just you wait.
There's 6 whole hours left, guys.
Really? Is that all there is?
Yeah.
Oh my
Holy
god.
crap.
5 weeks, 6 hours.
Alright.
Yep. So then we go to Jerry, and he's just running out of the woods. He survived, yay!
It's only been a week.
Can we go back?
What was that?
Sorry, can we go back?
Oh
Yes,
yes,
we
yeah.
can.
I forgot about the.
I had
rock.
an actual like real thought on that.
Go ahead.
I know that's so weird.
We welcome your thoughts.
No, do you think that between the curtains and her saying "Let's rock," do you think that's suggesting that she's maybe a doppelganger?
Yeah, I wrote that, but then I forgot to bring it up. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you also get the creepy music right before she does it.
and when this season plays music,
Plus, her
you should probably note.
her fashions are really weird. So maybe that's what it is. Like whenever your fashions are off, you're probably a doppelganger.
Or fake being. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Bob had like the full-on denim ensemble. Like
She's got the
True.
leather shirt.
she's got the pleather
Or
like
pleather.
outfit, and Bob Coop has like a weird, I don't know, like dirty. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to describe
Snake
that
skin?
stuff. Yeah, snake skin kind of thing going on. I don't know.
I think that's just his tan.
Yeah, it's terrible tan. It's terrible wig.
Like, but I mean, having said that, like, what impact does it really have if she is a doppelganger? Because we never knew regular Diane. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
So I mean, I observed it and then I threw it away because it kind of doesn't matter.
I'm
either
kind
way.
of sad that this is the Diane we got.
You know what would be interesting if we had the same character, but it was Annie,
Yeah.
Mm.
because then we could actually see a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd Annie get so mean?
Do you mean like if Laura Dern played Annie?
Well, I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah, that would be interesting though. I think.
Yeah, but just even if if we got Heather Graham, but just playing a similar character.
Could she be
Okay.
wearing the same wig?
Yes, definitely.
So any notes on Jerry running out of the woods?
I like his style.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad
I
he's
just-
alive.
Yeah, he's been in the woods for a week.
Yeah.
I like that all he has is a fanny pack. That's it. Like what? I don't know. Like I don't know what you could fit in there that would help you survive. Like a ton of Ensure, I guess maybe. I don't know.
He's got astronaut
Drugs.
food in there.
Yeah, it's probably just full up with mushrooms.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Caitlin.
I'll and again at this point in the series, I will take what I can get. I just love any scene with just Jerry in and around the woods. Like, I'll take it. Solid.
I love that his pants were tucked into his socks. That's my favorite part, I think.
That's how you keep ticks out.
I know.
True. He's an experienced woodsman, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, with these fashions, do we know he's not a doppelganger?
He probably
What-
is. He went into the woods, regular Jerry, and came out a doppelganger
He came out a doppelganger with his socks up over his...
in a
His,
fanny pack.
Wouldn't Jerry's doppelganger be like really nice?
True.
And not,
Which he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from what we've seen.
It'll
Yeah.
it'll remain to be seen, I guess. We got 6 hours to have it explained to us.
Did he have blood on his hands?
No, yeah. I think
No,
he
he's
had
got gloves.
red gloves.
Okay. Oh, then that scene was almost interesting for me.
Almost. Bloody hands. He succeeded in getting rid of his foot.
That is Twin Peaks Podcast at gmail.com.
Hey, I'm just gonna forward it to you. So the next scene is probably the highlight of the episode for me, which is all the Sarah Palmer stuff. Well, half the
Yes.
Sarah Palmer stuff.
Yeah, this is really good.
Yeah. So she's buying lots of booze and cigarettes.
I
What do you
like
guys
the
think?
part where I like the part where she pulled 3 bottles and then was disappointed there was not a 4th.
yeah.
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 Yeah, I hadn't really realized like how broken she must be
Mm.
now. Yeah, having like lost her daughter and her husband and all the abuse and stuff that went on before that.
Yeah. I mean, it was 25 years ago, but yeah, it seems to have ruined her whole life. She never, like, remarried or anything that we know of.
Well, I mean, she had a daughter that was like almost an adult. She had a life, and then all of it just like crumbled at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty, like, it is the most brutal, horrific life experience someone can pretty much have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And therefore she's afraid of turkey jerky.
I was wondering whether the woodsmen that's what their business is. Like, this is how they survive in the real world, is by, like, they've got this, like, turkey jerky startup.
I like it.
Organic
It's unnatural.
It's not right, I tells you.
Want some jerky?
What were you gonna say, Evan?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry. Oh.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That means it was super important.
But she does talk to herself, and like as if she's two different people.
Ah.
She like says men are coming, which could be those woodsmen. Maybe the woodsmen are going to invade Twin Peaks.
They just want some jerky. They want to bring more to the town.
They want to establish a distribution center to.
Exactly.
But she says something happened to me, and I don't feel good. And the last time we saw her, she was possessed. In episode 29 by Wyndham Earl.
No, the last time we saw her, she was watching like lions.
True.
Nature shows.
Yeah.
Listen, she's got a doppelganger as well. Everybody's a doppelganger. That's what we learned this episode.
If you don't like them, they're a doppelganger.
Mm, yeah.
If you do like them, they're a doppelganger. Regardless, they're a doppelganger. Just deal with it. This kid, he's not going to deliver groceries to her house. Nobody does that anymore. He's a doppelganger.
I really liked his delivery, and he was like, I know where she lives. I could deliver him to her house, I guess.
Guys, okay. Jumping ahead slightly. What if we find out that she's got like him like kidnapped like in the kitchen?
That was one of my thoughts. I was like, either there's somebody visiting her, like maybe Evil Coop is in town, like he made it to Twin Peaks and he's staying there, or yeah, she kidnapped the clerk.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh my god.
But yeah, there's something off about her.
Being a doppelganger will do that to you.
Yes. We go to Carl being nice to one of his residents. He's a doppelganger. He was never nice.
He can't be a doppelganger. Carl Rod is the only redeeming human in this show.
But apparently, I read this. I don't know if it's true, but apparently this scene was written 10 minutes before they filmed it.
You know it's true.
And that guy he's talking to was an actual resident of this trailer park.
Oh.
It's such a David Lynch thing to do. You know it's true.
Yeah.
Of course.
Either way, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Highlight. Huge highlight of the episode.
I feel like Carl Rod's calling in life is just to spread goodwill and cheer.
Carl for mayor!
Yeah, you should be the mayor.
He's so pure. He's so pure.
I mean, he doesn't get up in time to do any of his mayorly duties, but
Honestly, though, I really see it as him being like the head of like the mafia or some gang, and in a lot of places they do like support the local economy and like take care of the people. That's more how I see him.
You think Carl's the leader of a gang? What?
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily have to be a bad gang.
Caitlin's only saying this because she's the leader of a gang.
Just trying to make myself feel better.
I think Caitlin's a doppelganger, too.
Yeah.
It got out.
We're gonna by the end of this, we're gonna root out who is and who isn't a doppelganger.
That's Biz chair.
That's why we've been getting envelopes full of money in the mail. It's Caitlin. She's trying to take care of us.
Red chair forever, and clearly Carl Rod is possessed by Laura Palmer.
Oh, okay.
Then we go to Kyle MacLachlan's only appearance in this episode, so he can still get that top build on the credits.
Yeah, this was the thumbnail of the episode before I clicked on it.
Yeah,
I was
me
like,
too.
Oh no.
Would you? My only note on this, him getting hit by the ball while trying to play catch, is that must be kind of unnerving, having to trust a kid to throw a ball near your face. Either that or it's a CG ball, and it's no big deal at all.
There's nothing to say about this scene.
I actually have something to say about this scene.
Okay.
This is This is just like showing how much David Lynch is trolling all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the types of scenes I feel that the people that like that David Lynch is trolling us, they're like, yes, like people are gonna be so mad that this scene happened because you know, you're hoping when that kid throws the ball that he's gonna hit Dougie in the head and that Dougie's gonna turn into Cooper again. But that doesn't happen. Like, this stuff keeps happening where you're just like, okay, and now. And it just doesn't happen, you know. So,
I don't know. Sorry, were you done?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't know what Dougie's line is, because he will immediately snap into action when little Stabby comes at him with a gun. But he will not protect himself from a baseball.
No.
Like, did the ball need to be going faster? Is that... I would just do, like, experiments. Like, throw the ball a little harder each time until it's enough of a threat that he reacts. Otherwise, it's just bouncing off his face.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, next episode, that's the entire episode.
Yay!
Listen, I'm always down for any Dougie scene that lasts no more than 30 seconds, so I'm fine with this one.
No, yeah, like, as far as Dougie scenes go, this was a Dougie-ass scene, but it was, over quick. It was funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just feels...
It was the only... Sorry, it was one of the few scenes in this episode that made its point and then left.
Yes, I know.
It just feels very disappointing after last week when it felt like there was kind of a conclusion to the whole Dougie thing.
Nope.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
It's like, he's
Month and a half,
full
Matt.
person now. Oh.
Yeah, they're hoping that like they can draw it out as long as possible, and then at the end of the season, when like if you get like more of a hint of Cooper coming back, then they'll be like, just petition for us to come back and you'll get what you want.
So then we cut to some Twin Peaks music, hooray, and a mountain and some fog, which we've seen this exact shot before a few times, I think, and they're reusing many shots in this series, but feel free to use this one as many times as you want. I have no problems with establishing shots that look nice like this.
No.
That was like a Bob Ross painting.
But yeah, this is where Hawk goes to see Sarah Palmer, and yeah, they get the pilot Laura Palmer theme drone on there, or Dark Woods theme, maybe it's called. But yeah,
And they had a shot of the fan too, didn't they?
kinda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like through the window. Yeah.
Is there more to this fan than I know?
Well, I mean, in the pilot and a few other episodes, it was featured on and made to look eerie. Some people think that
In the movie, it's kind of a little bit.
it's even more creepy in the
prominent,
movie.
yeah.
But some people think that Leland turned it on whenever he, came after Laura just to drown out the sound a little bit. But
That's completely horrifying.
yep.
I know.
Did you see the missing pieces?
No.
Okay, well, there's like a scene where Laura stares at the fan like for a long time, and she just gets this creepy ass Joker smile, like just slowly, ever so slowly, like just spreads across her face, and it's very creepy and effective, and I like that. But
Oh,
yeah, nothing definitive has ever been said about the fan.
okay. Or anything.
Yes.
Hawk goes to see Sarah, and she's acting really shifty and uninterested in what's happening. And yeah, there's somebody rattling bottles back there.
You think she was acting shifty? I didn't really get that impression.
I thought so. She was just like, meh, whatever. Yeah, that was... I was acting weird, but I feel better now.
Yeah, I think that's just her like trying to save face and feeling embarrassed by it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Her
It
line
didn't-
delivery was
It
weird.
didn't come off as embarrassed to me. It came
Okay.
off as annoyed.
I took it more as like she knows why he's there because like she made a scene in the grocery store, and it's patronizing that he's like, hey, I just came to check on you. Bullshit. I acted crazy. I know it. I get it. All right.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But also she could have a doppelganger. So
And
it's,
she definitely has that clerk tied up at her kitchen.
Either that or that's where Richard Horn is hanging out.
Oh, maybe. Anything else there? Nope. Next shot is we go to the hospital where they use a shot of the old hospital from the original series, and they digitally zoom in to make it fit the screen. I didn't mind so much. I just noticed it. And then we see Miriam in her bed. There's not much to say. She is in the hospital.
But she's not in a coma, at least.
Well, I don't know. Her eyes were closed.
She gave a statement, though.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe she lapsed into a coma after that.
Yeah, okay. She was free to coma up after that. But
Yeah.
The way this series is hodgepodge together, like, there's no telling when somebody's in a coma or not, because it's just like there's so many scenes that are so they could have gone anywhere, and you can tell. Like, it's very annoying.
Yeah. Then we go to Diane, and she's talking to somebody on the phone about Las Vegas. We still don't know who that is. It's
Definitely Evil Coop, right?
It's either Evil Coop or it's Philip Jeffries or just somebody.
Well, we saw Evil Coop text her the first time.
Yeah, but he it went weird. Like, either he texted all caps and it came through to her not all caps, or the other way around. And people are like, maybe a third party is relaying it that she thinks she thinks she's talking to. I don't know.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is that why she was texting
Or it
all
could just be a
caps?
production error.
Oh.
Yeah.
If we gotta hold on that for a second. I mean, if that's that's the craziest thing ever.
Well, I mean,
we're gonna find out.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna find out that in actuality these things where we've seen text messages being sent back and forth, we're gonna find out that there's actually a third party that's like sending that message on, and that's like this crazy red herring. That is officially the dumbest, craziest, kookiest, most unnecessary red herring ever.
Well, I mean, something like that kind of already happened with the lady sending the messages to the box in Buenos Aires, which I think was a third party. So who knows?
I think I figured it out. And Brad, you're going to be happy about this.
Bring it.
Diane's phone is also a doppelganger.
Yes! Whoa!
They got her and her phone, and it changes caps.
What was the thing about the woman in Buenos Aires being like getting a double message or something? What was that?
The lady who was tasked with killing before Ike the Spike, she was tasked with the killing of Dougie. She was receiving messages or sending messages to a box in Buenos Aires, which then maybe sent them to somebody else. I can't remember exactly, but at the end of the episode, the box like crumpled up into a little ball.
Sure. I thought you were saying that there was we saw messages going from elsewhere. Okay. All right then. Okay.
I don't know.
That I remember.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, this would be the kookiest. Like, we've got 6 episodes left, guys, and at the pace we're moving, I don't think we're gonna have crazy double cross red herrings anywhere.
We will introduce like 7 new characters in this episode, though, or at least mention their names.
Yeah.
So then we go to Frank Truman talking to Ben Horn about Richard.
Question, and because this is another one of these scenes that I feel like has been affected by the fact that we're just putting scenes all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a reason he didn't mention Richard Horn attacking Sylvia and taking the money, or was that originally supposed to have been after this? Because that's what I think happened.
That's probably what happened. Either that or Ben is not as nice as we think he is, and he's hiding stuff from the police. But I think you're probably right, and this, I don't know, this was originally supposed to go before that, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. That's just the thing. And this is, I think, my problem with current David Lynch. I mean, I say current, modern latter day David Lynch. Is like everything is so sterile and clinical and it can so easily be disconnected that the scenes, like, you really can't put them in almost any order.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
he's not interested in storytelling per se.
like this whole, I think I've said it before, this whole series feels like the deleted scenes from Missing Pieces.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed those because I knew the narrative that they fit into. Like, I could insert them into the story in my head. And this just feels like some random scenes that I'm seeing, and I got no context for them.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time when we see Twin Peaks characters, it's mostly fan service. Like, all the things people keep complaining or keep saying that's great about the series. Oh, it's not just the same thing. We're not just rehashing characters. It's exactly what we're doing. Like,
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Why half of these cast members are just useless? Like, they're just... I'd almost rather not have them if they're not going to use them in any interesting way. Like,
Yeah.
why not write a new mystery for the Twin Peaks people to deal with?
I would be fine if we didn't even see Dale Cooper until like episode 5, and then we find out about Evil Coop. Like, just keep it in Twin Peaks. There's plenty of mystery going on. There's lots of sick people. There's rashes. There's Clark and his shenanigans. There's so many things that we can go to that's not rehashing the original series. Like, we don't even need to see as many of the original characters. Just something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts on this whole scene?
Same question. Does this scene tell you anything you didn't know already?
That Ben Horn, when he was a child, he got a bicycle from his father, and it was two-tone green, and he really, really loved that bicycle. And that Richard never had a father.
If you don't get a bike from your dad, you're going to turn out to be a little shit.
It's because Richard never had a father to give him a bicycle.
That was hard to ride, and so that's why he turned into the hardworking man he is now.
Right.
All right.
Around the horn, whose father gave them a bicycle? Go.
I got a bike.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if it was from my parent. I don't remember.
Evan?
But I had a bicycle. I had several.
Pass.
Pass.
Doppelganger. We've rooted out another doppelganger. Caitlin and Evan are both doppelgangers.
Oh,
Definitely. I
This
received a bicycle.
podcast- This podcast just turned into the blood test scene from The Thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. I received a bicycle on my birthday one year, but my uncle drunkenly immediately absconded with it, crashed it into a tree, warping it around the tree, and then I never learned to ride a bike.
Oh my god!
You still turned out okay though, because you technically received a bicycle from your father.
No, it wasn't for my father though, so I don't know if it counts.
It was from a father figure, though.
Okay, yeah.
It was for my mother,
Oh.
not a father figure.
Yeah, I tried.
I don't think this is a useful metric, you guys.
That's because you're a doppelganger.
Yeah. You're trying to throw us off your trail. So yeah, they also mentioned the key that came in the mail, and they want to give that to Harry. And I'm just like, why do you keep mentioning Harry if you're never going to show him?
They just
Just stop teasing us with it.
No, they're just fan servicing you with the mention of Harry.
It really is. It's all fan service.
Does everyone also really love Harry?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so. Like, he's a I don't know. I feel like he's a part of the old show. I feel like he's worth at least a mention. You know.
I think a large part of the charm of the show, the original show, was Harry and Cooper working together. And
Yeah.
their bromance, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so
there's none of
so much fanfic.
that. I know.
Oh my
Some
God.
of it in German.
Oh Lord.
Anything else happen there?
Can you read German, Evan?
No, I can read.
Just
I
the
can
dirty
read
words.
Isn't doppelganger a German word?
Yes.
Hmm.
It's a fanfic about doppelgangers.
I can read what Google Translate spits out when you feed German into it.
Oh, okay. I see.
Check farther down the podcast feed.
Yeah, there's one there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There was one other thing. The insurance. Miriam needs an operation. She doesn't have insurance. So, Americans, what happens if you can't pay for a life-saving operation? Do they just throw you in the street and you die, or what?
Depending. So sometimes, if you clearly aren't going to be able to pay, you'll just get shittier treatment. And they'll make excuses for why they don't give you treatment, but it's because you clearly can't pay for it. Or you'll get like the basic life-saving treatment, and then just be sued to hell when you can't pay your bills.
Oh my god.
And you'll be in debt for the rest of your life forever.
That's awful.
Until you file bankruptcy.
Or your friends will get together and have a wacky adventure to raise you the money.
Yeah, people do that too.
But mostly people.
But mostly you starve to death in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you get shittier credit, or you get shittier treatment, and but no one's actually willing to admit that it's because you clearly couldn't pay for it.
Right.
Well, that doesn't sound pleasant. I'm glad Ben Horn's going to pay for her.
Indeed.
Is it like super weird for him to ask him to pay for it though? like I understand the principle, but he's kind of there in an official capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I just got really hung up on like the process because I was wondering, like, legally, like, if you don't even know the woman's last name, like,
Right.
like, isn't there a doctor-patient confidentiality thing that's gonna make this a real headache?
I don't know. Apparently Beverly can just take care of it.
She's got the skills.
Yes, that's why he hired her. She's got those skills.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm sure they'll take anyone's money because that's how the American medical system works.
Yeah.
Maybe he just has like an open tab at the hospital for all like the people that Richard sends to the hospital.
Maybe. And one at the morgue too.
Man, it must be weird to be a doctor though, because you feel good because you're saving lives, but then you'd also feel evil because you're like, I need your money before you can save your life.
So you've only got enough money to save one of your fingers. Which one do you want to keep?
So you think you're joking?
Yeah, I know I'm not joking.
Yeah, my doctor's a real asshole. Like, he's a big-time Trump fan monster. Like,
Oh lord.
I avoid going just because I don't want to hear about how socialized medicine would destroy the country or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think our doctors in Canada are still paid pretty well.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Yeah.
Well, here's a fun fact though. Every doctor in America, doppelganger.
That is a fun fact.
That's why my doctor dresses like an asshole.
It's definitely a fun fact from Canada.
Yeah. So then we cut to Gordon with a fetish lady. His own personal fetish lady. Who moves slowly and acts weirdly,
Fuck this woman.
and that's David Lynch's thing.
Fuck this woman. She's the worst.
This woman took 3 minutes to leave the room.
Was it only
Yes,
3 minutes?
Oh, I checked. Yeah.
Did you say something, Caitlin, about this woman?
I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, you don't like her?
No.
No. Like, what did you not like about her?
It's, I don't know. She just was completely put on and like, just was irritating to me.
It's like almost like she's like pantomiming things or something.
Yeah, she couldn't actually speak a lot of the time. She's just like, making noises. Yeah.
And like speaking like really like just exaggerated French. It's really.
Do your impression.
No, I don't even want to. It's like just gross to me.
What'd you say, Trey?
Oh, that sound! I wanted to murder her. Oh. And the way she drank the wine, I was like, bah. Like,
she like almost like had an orgasm or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
The French and their wines.
What was grossing me out was when she's like putting on the lipstick and David Lynch is like making the lips, and I'm like, oh god, oh please stop. Oh.
I think it was meant to be cute, but it really did not find it cute at all.
Yeah.
Old
I
man
just-
cute.
I've just seen so many people it's
Yeah.
like they think Lynch is doing it on purpose and he's incapable of directing a bad scene.
Yeah, it's you're going in with the premise that this is amazing and brilliant.
Yeah.
And
And, like,
everything means something.
Yeah, and
That's their expectations is that it's going to be brilliant, so that's what they expect, and that's what they're seeing.
right.
Yeah.
And I enjoy weird David Lynch scenes. I'm fine with them. I was okay with the sweeping. Like the sleeping was fine. Like fine. But like it's just the fact that this is like 95% David Lynch scenes. And like the fact that there's not other things. And this assumption that these are inherently brilliant and like, oh, it's so great that this is like nothing else on television, and oh, so many people are getting pissed off, and I love that people don't like it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I feel like I don't mean to besmirch the brilliant auteur that is George Lucas, but this is like when Phantom Menace first came out, and that first weekend when people really convinced themselves they liked that movie. I just feel like we're gonna look back and we'll be like, yeah, this was hit or miss.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
and maybe people will still love it, but I think when it's all said and done, like the whole doesn't work.
People are like, it's your fault for having expectations, but I'd argue even new watchers with zero expectations would not be compelled by these scenes.
Of course, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
hey, Brad. Did you know that the new cool thing to do is to go back and say why Phantom Menace was actually good?
Oh, cool.
it's come around, has it?
It's come around.
Wow.
It's come all the way around. Yep. Nope.
Nope.
Speaking of all this Star Wars talk, what would people think if after 30 years of wanting to see Luke Skywalker in action again, in The Last Jedi, he only repeated what Rey said to him and acted like a zombie the whole movie? Would they call it brilliant? Would they call it brilliant?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. Nothing makes sense. Everyone's a doppelganger.
Looper fans might.
I mean, the original series had bad storylines, but at least they weren't boring. Like stuff was happening, even if
Also, it was
even-
charming. It was
Yeah.
a charming little movie.
It wasn't just people staring at each other and endlessly talking about things we have no context for.
Listen, weird David Lynch scenes are a strong spice. Like, you can't have a meal made of David Lynch scenes.
You can. You're just gonna get really bad heartburn.
Oh no, it's actually the problem is your palate is just not developed enough.
You gotta work yourself up to that spice level.
Just keep
Now, have
eating
you-
those chilies until you can.
until you die.
Mel, have you even read The Joy of Cooking?
She uses it all the time.
But what is a cookbook, guys? I'll tell you.
Okay. Kind of getting in on the. This is just a weird little factoid, and I don't. I'm just going to say this. You can draw your own conclusions. I watched this episode probably. I started it about 15 minutes before it was airing live. And I went to the IMDb page for the episode to look up an actor. And the episode, while it was airing, had 10 stars in user reviews.
Before it was over.
Before it was over. Before it was halfway over. I mean, it's gone down. It's actually one of the lower rated episodes so far.
At 8 point something.
But people just couldn't wait to log on to IMDb and give it 10 stars.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If I'm happy, people are happy, right?
Sure.
I don't want anybody to be, furious. I don't think any of us are furious.
No.
I'm kind of furious.
Well, okay.
I'm furious for myself though. I'm happy other people are happy, but
Yeah, I love that people are enjoying it, but I don't know why you would get joy out of
me
someone...
not enjoying it.
Yeah, why would
Right.
you get joy out of that?
No.
Like, that's awful. That's not...
Well, there's
not nice.
there's such a great deal of people wanting this to be an exclusive thing that they can create this line that's like, this is really deep, brilliant art, and we get it, and we're the ones that get it, and the people that don't are the normies that are dumb, and they don't even understand art. And it's like, no, guys, like, listen, I know plenty of dumb people that would turn their nose up at this for all the wrong reasons. And yeah, they're dummies. Sure, fine, we can agree to that. But you can also look at this objectively, with no expectations, our expectations, and not like it. That's fine. Everybody can like or not like something. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you being so defensive, Brad?
Because I'm a doppelganger.
Oh, no.
Shut
Oh no! It's just Mel and I are
Brad,
left.
what are you wearing right now?
He's wearing
Clever.
a cheetah print vest and
Denim shorts.
Fuck you, Caitlin. You take your tan chair and get the fuck out of here. I'll draw you a map. By the way, what is a map? Can we, for a second, discuss Gordon Cole's joke?
Oh yeah. I kind of like how Albert's having none of Gordon Cole. That's the
But
Well,
one
can
thing
we
I
the
like.
same kind of joke that Albert would say, though.
Albert says jokes?
Yeah, he says terrible jokes, too.
But the fact is that, okay, he says this woman is meeting a friend of her mother's whose daughter was lost or something, is missing. And then he makes a joke about it. And it's like, listen, you're the FBI. You find people.
I assumed it wasn't a real situation. It was completely
It's just
entirely
a
a
pun.
setup for the joke.
It's just a pun. It's a bad pun.
I assumed that's what it was. Maybe
I like to think that it's 100% real. It's much more fun that way.
Well, that would explain Albert's look. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a serious situation.
sometimes I feel like one of Gordon's like side quests is to get Albert to smile.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, likely.
Or
And-
deck him.
Or
what?
that.
Or deck him.
Basically just any emotional response out of Albert would be a win.
Yeah.
They need to go back and see that coroner.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we go to... Oh yeah, he tells Gordon about the Diane message that we already know about. Then we go to Hutch and the Cheesy Queen on their stakeout of the warden. And they shoot him and go get Wendy's.
These people are the
Cheeseburgers.
worst.
And scene.
What did you say, Caitlin?
I said cheeseburgers.
Yeah. It's gotta have cheese of some kind on it, yeah. She probably throws some cheesies in the bun, between the bun and the patty.
Probably.
Gotta give it that crunch, that cheesy crunch.
Yeah.
But I felt bad for the kid whose father is
It was the worst.
brains exploded in front of him.
Yeah.
I don't know if we needed to see that.
God, I hope he got him a bike before then.
Oh god.
That boy won't be right unless he got
Oh.
a bike.
Then we go to Dr. Amp.
Again.
Again, either using the exact same shot
Yeah.
from his first appearance, or just saying the same thing in the same intonation, which is effectively
It's just
the
like
same
an
as
alternate
using
take.
The same
I think
shot.
I think it's an alternate. Because I think the first part is the exact same, and Nadine is definitely wearing the same outfit she was wearing the first time we saw her. But I don't care because I still love it so much.
You still love it.
I can't.
love it.
I can't. I don't.
I just wanted a woodsman to come in and crush his head.
I don't know why. Listen. I feel like there's not a lot that clearly that I've been able to hold on to with this show. But what I can hold on to is I love kooky Dr. Jacoby, and I'm taking any kooky moments I can get.
All right, I'll let you have it. But you can't tell me this series needed to be 18 episodes. You can't tell me.
No, definitely not. Or at least maybe 18 episodes of other things.
Yeah.
We could have done with like one less Dr. Amp at least. You know, just less of the same. Like, Just
I just
stop.
wish it was different.
Just
Because this
stop
one,
yeah.
this one was pretty much the same as the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, what are we learning?
But this is a pattern with this show, is just that they keep showing us the same stuff, just slightly different, and it's really frustrating.
It's because, and again, it's the whole fact that David Lynch is just using. It's not coherent. Like the fact that we can clearly reuse like another version of a scene with Nadine wearing the same thing, doing another take. Like it's just he put scenes together and it was like, you know what, I like both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he can't pick between his babies, like all his scenes.
Because they don't lead. They don't lead into the next scene. They're just little vignettes.
Yep. And then suddenly cut to Audrey. You've been waiting, everyone.
Were you guys surprised?
A little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, she's in this episode.
Are she like in a play? Because
I actually thought that. I thought when it was beginning that it was gonna be revealed after a certain amount of time that these were two. It was her and an actor rehearsing lines for her big acting gig or something. Because that was the original idea, is that Audrey was going to spin off and become a Hollywood actress in Mulholland Drive or whatever. But
like this guy's desk, his rotary phone, like the papers, his vest, like he looks like he's in Death of a Salesman or something. I don't know what's happening.
yeah.
Like it's a Glengarry Glen Ross situation. I don't know what he's working on.
Yeah. I've seen some desperate people suggest that
Desperate.
Yeah, they're desperate for this to not be the case, for her not to be married to this guy and stuff. They're like, well, because she doesn't move, she stands in place the whole time, and it seems like he's trying to stop her from leaving the house. I bet she's in a coma, and this is all in her head.
Well, it
No.
could be, but
That's some people trying to justify the.
but we don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know.
We just have to take it as it is right now.
I think all you Audrey diehard fans are just gonna have to accept that this is her reality. She didn't turn out the way you wanted. Hashtag not my Audrey.
Is that real?
Yeah, some people are using that.
Oh boy.
The thing is, and I am fine with the idea of we're coming back to this later, and none of the characters are what we think they are. That's fine. But the thing is, we're throwing out so much weird exposition with Audrey, especially because we've got the coma, we've got Richard Horn, however that works out. But like, there's 6 episodes left. It's not that we're not going to get resolution to all of these things. We're not going to get resolution to anything. Like, this scene is just, we have Audrey in a scene. Like, I don't know what it leads to, if anything.
Yeah, and this scene introduces Charlie, Billy, Tina, Paul, all these names. Chuck.
Oh, wait.
Chuck.
We'd already heard
Chuck
of
Charlie?
No, there's a Chuck and a Charlie.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, we did hear Billy.
We did hear Billy.
but still.
Bing.
People keep talking about the whole David Lynch is just trolling the fans. He's just messing with people, which I always think is ridiculous and crazy because I don't think he's trying that hard. He doesn't put that much thought into like messing with people. I don't think. But like for a little bit of the scene, I was trying to figure out like, okay, so we're talking about the stolen talk and everything, and I was like, okay, Billy is Richard Horn's middle name Billy or something? Is that why they're looking? And then she says, I love him, I fuck him. I'm like, well, that's definitely not Richard.
Hopefully.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was really trying to make some connections there that could not exist.
The only thing I can think of is Billy, the guy that Andy was talking to in that one episode.
The guy whose truck went missing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't. I mean, I want to try to think that because it's the only case of a truck being missing.
Yeah.
But
it just doesn't feel like I should even try to remember all
exactly.
these names. Like, it's not going to matter.
And if that's the case, I feel like this is maybe another scene that is just in any kind of order, because obviously we're not addressing Richard Horn at all. None of the drama she's discussing is the name Richard ever mentioned,
No.
so there's that. and if the truck's missing, I would think, okay, maybe this scene was supposed to go around when all that was happening.
It's like I've never had something I'm watching make my body involuntarily sigh, but it happened like 3 or 4 times in this episode, and most of them in this scene. Like my body needed to release my frustration, the tension that was in me, and I was just like, oh, I'm sighing, and I can't help it. Like, I've never had that happen while watching something.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, it's just so frustrating. Like, this is a waste of time. Like, especially when he hangs up the phone and doesn't even tell her what he heard.
It's a metaphor for watching TV.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it's a metaphor for watching the show. Like,
But isn't that what's brilliant about it? Isn't it brilliant that this show knows that it's frustrating,
no,
and it loves that it's
just
frustrating you?
No, it's just frustrating.
No, but that's what's great about it, because it knows it's being frustrating. If something's done intentionally, that means it's good.
Oh, okay. Speaking of things that were done intentionally in this scene, the blocking was terrible. The cinematography was terrible.
Yeah.
It was a shot and a reverse shot while both characters remained completely still and talked to each other.
Yeah, it wasn't very visually dynamic.
But how sweet was that rotary phone?
Caitlin, did you have notes about this scene?
Not really. While I was watching it, Crave TV was being super slow buffering, and so the scene was even twice as slow.
Oh,
as
no.
No.
Probably. So, yeah.
I bet he still spent less time dialing that rotary phone than that French woman spent leaving the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say on a second watch, I kind of liked the Charlie actor and his portrayal of this Charlie character a little bit. I like how downtrodden he is, and how he keeps pushing his glasses up, and he's just like, oh, woe is me, harump. But, like...
Just so sleepy.
Yeah, I know, I love that.
I think this guy, he also played a character in a TV show Fringe.
Oh, yeah?
And he was also kind of like a downtrodden character, too, who worked at a bookshop.
He's kind of like a Eeyore kind of character.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of liked some of that in the scene, like, but the rest of it, like, the worst thing you can be is boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, we all had some feelings about episode 8, but we had those feelings.
Yeah.
And it's better to feel something than nothing. And most of this episode, I was just like, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And even when, you know, he does, even in the scene when she's just, like, yelling and swearing at him, and he's like, oh, come on, Audrey. Like, yeah. I chuckled, and then it was just back to zero.
And we get in this episode, we get all this talk of all this soap opera drama going on. I'm like, why can't we just have soap opera drama? Let me just follow these people and their crazy relationships. I'll watch that. Give me that show.
No, you got to hear them recap it.
Yeah, sure. Has to turn into.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Turn into what?
I just said it was gonna turn into the telephone hour from Bye Bye Birdie.
But she's kind of reminded me of Catherine Martell, except worse. Because at least Catherine Martell hid her infidelity from Pete. She's doing her cheating in the open, and she even wants her husband to help look for her lover.
Yeah.
So, yeah. After Audrey's big return, we go to Diane again.
Sorry.
And she's discovering something we all figured out already as well. The coordinates on the arm are Twin Peaks. So the way I understood this is that she remembered them by spelling out a word that you could spell out like on a phone if you use those numbers. Is that it?
I think so.
And the
I don't
word,
know.
And the word just happened to be
because
coordinates.
she actually said coordinates.
2.
Yeah. I ran out of
I was like, crap, I picked the wrong word.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it seemed like to me, because she's like, it did the flashback to her looking at it. She says coordinates, and then she's putting it in her phone. She says coordinates +2. Like, yeah.
All right.
That's what it
Well, I don't know how her phone works, but I'm looking at the coordinates and I'm looking at a keypad right now. 4-8. Nope.
Nope, it doesn't work then. Then I have no idea what that was about.
I thought it was sort of just like a memorization technique.
What else would it be besides trying to line up the
I just
numbers
assumed
with
this was
letters?
how David Lynch phone technology works again. You have to write the word coordinates.
Okay, but Brad, we've already established it's a doppelphone.
It's true. It's true.
You don't know how the keypad works on a doppelganger phone.
That's very true.
It
I don't
works
like the
literally how it needs to.
I don't like the fact that we get this flashback to the photo. I'm
Why is
like,
that?
it's like when we saw the stupid year credits in the episode 8.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this series we haven't done like a lot of flashbacks to things really, and it's just like I need to remember this thing, so we're gonna flash back. It's like I don't know. I feel like we all understood when she got the coordinates. Like we don't need a flashback to see the photo.
Yeah, probably not.
I was oddly fine with that.
I mean, it's granted it's a small problem, but it stuck out to me.
It was a rare case of David Lynch trying to help the audience along.
Yeah, I'm like, why sometimes will he give us a flashback so we make sure we remember the coordinates, but then other times we have Audrey talking about people we have no idea who they are.
Yeah, we're just left to our own devices, yeah. Speaking of talking about people we have no idea who they are, we got to the Roadhouse next, where the Chromatics are playing again, and we get 2 more random ladies talking about more people we don't know who they are. At least there's no rashes this time.
Oh. I want to see their show.
There's a whole bunch of new names here: Angela, Clark, Mary, Natalie, Trick. Oh my god. Why? Just why is this scene here?
How old is Trick?
I don't know.
What did you say about Trick, Matt? What did you say about him?
He looks like a poor man's Nathan Fillion.
It's Nathan Fillion's drunk brother. Willie Fillion.
The only the only thing that could possibly come out of this of significance is him mentioning almost being run off the road. And that's either, if it is something significant, it's probably either Richard leaving town or Coop coming into town. Bad Coop. That's my guess. But maybe it's nothing.
I think it's Chuck. Or Billy.
Or Tina.
Or Paul. Or Natalie. Or Clark.
It's Mary. That bitch.
Anyways, that's the episode.
I hate that bitch.
Me too. That's the episode, guys.
Alright.
Our bitch fest is mostly over.
I really wanted to like it. I wanted to, I swear.
It's
Right, like,
It just didn't allow itself to be liked.
Well, what happened? Like, overall in this series, what's happened?
well, we were talking to Evan earlier, and I was saying it's like last week, he kind of, if this was a car, he kind of stepped on the gas. He's like, all right, we're going to start going. In this episode, he's like, break. Put a hold on all that plot progression, and, you know.
It's like...
introduce 8 more characters.
Yeah.
Like, but seriously though, okay, so Tammy's in the club. Diane's still sketchy. We don't know anything more. Sarah Palmer had a freak out in a grocery store. Audrey's looking for Billy. Did anything else happen?
Gordon's going to call that French woman at the bar.
Please no.
He said it 3 times.
Please let's never see this woman again.
Next episode is her origin story.
So let's rate this thing. Let's rate this clunker.
Can we just, like... We don't enjoy complaining, right?
No, like,
I
really wish I wasn't complaining right now.
Right.
I would love
like,
to have something positive to say about this. Like, personally, like, I would love to like the show, but I can't. I can't make myself like something that I don't. I'm sorry for all you listening, like, that keep hoping that we do say something positive. Like, I would like to, but I can't make myself like something that I don't like. You know, like, I can't. Like, I'm not being negative because I love being negative. Like,
No, Mel, you're being negative because you wanted it to be something that you wanted and not what the creators want.
It's just not something that... It's not compelling to me. There's nothing there for me.
I'm fine with the creators making what they want to make, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't, like, I can see how some people enjoy it and enjoy seeing, like analyzing every little detail in it, but I don't see anything worthy of analysis, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of room. I feel like there's a lot of people that, because Twin Peaks has been away for a long time, and a lot of people spent most of the time like coming up with theories, and they really delve deep into that. Like, I want to figure out all these theories about this show because there's a small finite amount of episodes, and it's really mysterious, and I just want to talk to people online. And if that's your thing, great. Like, that's a thing you can do. I definitely remember the early days of the internet. A lot of people talking on message boards and things about varying shows and ideas and theories. And you know what? That's great. But if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. Definitely not my thing. And I don't think there's enough here to grasp onto. Like, I will say there's definitely a lot of room to, like, fill in the blanks, but I don't find value in filling in the blanks when the blanks are left there intentionally. Like, it's not like there's secrets that I feel like Mark Frost and David Lynch have answers to that you could figure out, and then you would have some kind of revelation. I just feel like it's not there. There's no there.
Yeah.
I'm actually enjoying watching fan films of new Twin Peaks content more than the real new Twin Peaks content.
What kind of fan
Like
film?
there's like a trilogy of fan films. We saw one of them at the Twin Peaks Fest. It won best short film of like this guy just playing an agent looking for Agent Cooper, and he goes into Twin Peaks and he gets possessed by a doppelganger and stuff, and it's like a 3-part series.
I remember that one, yeah.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
And this year at the fest was won by another basically fan film called Summer at Pearl Lakes or something like that, where it's basically Leland as a child at Pearl Lakes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Meeting Bob and getting possessed by Bob, and it's really good. And I like both of those things more than the real new Twin Peaks. I'll have to try to find them and post them in the group.
Yeah, you should.
But they still feel like completely new and different. They don't feel like a rehash of the old Twin Peaks, but they're still good.
It's just a
so
continuation
it is possible.
it's a continuation of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, and, you know, when Fire Walk With Me came out, a lot of people didn't enjoy it. But I really liked it because there was connection to Twin Peaks. There was characters that I knew, and we were seeing a different side of the whole Laura Palmer story, and that's why I liked Fire Walk With Me. It wasn't because of, like, all of the David Lynch being David Lynch things and things that seemed completely disconnected. And this feels like all of the David Lynch side of Fire Walk With Me without the connection to Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan, do you have a rating ready?
No, but I have a story ready.
Okay.
No, I recently rewatched the first Star Trek movie. Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Okay. I remember that being terrible, but I was a child when I watched it.
Well, here's the thing. It's not terrible. There's a good movie in there, but everything takes too long.
Yeah.
By the way, I did time it. It takes 6 minutes for Scotty and Kirk to take the shuttle to the Enterprise. And this is relevant because it's how I'm kind of feeling about this. Like what's good about this season is pretty good, but it's hidden under, really long scenes that add nothing. They just explain. It's just characters saying things to other characters that we know, but now they know, I guess. And it's frustrating. Like we are knee deep in Evelyn Marsh right now. Like.
I enjoyed Evelyn Marsh more than I enjoyed this episode.
At least you could make fun of Evelyn Marsh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
I would rather watch this episode than Evelyn Marsh.
Oh, yeah?
Really? Yeah.
And you're off the podcast.
I don't want to look at Evelyn Marsh.
Exposition Malcolm, though?
No.
But what I'm getting at with this is it's hard for me to rate an episode because I'm still kind of in that mode where this is obviously an 18-hour movie that I am now 2/3 through watching.
Yeah, this is like the director's cut.
Right, like so it's kind of hard to like this episode. Look, three for this episode. I don't even have a cute unit. It's just 3. 3 premature IMDb user ratings out of 10. But like, I don't know. I'm hoping that it won't be like this for the next 6 episodes, and there is nothing that really makes me believe it will be like this for the next 6 episodes. But I still have to wait and see. It's very it's a real roller coaster, this show, but it's not even for the reasons it should be. It's me on a roller coaster with how much I put up with it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, yeah, 3.
Alrighty. Caitlin, you liked it. Tell us why.
Okay. I actually like watching Laura Dern's character. She's just really interesting, and plus she doesn't take any crap, so I like her whenever she comes up. Yeah. I feel like there was a lot of random crap in this episode that wasn't necessarily helpful and just puzzling as to why it was there. I almost forgot to, because my buffering for Crave TV was not working very well. I kind of stopped and almost forgot to watch the last scene there, but going back and watching it, I'm like, oh, why did I even come back and see this in the Roadhouse? Anyways. Yeah, I don't know, it was there's just little things here and there that make it worth it for me to get through it. Yeah, even though, we talked about how scenes are like, maybe we didn't learn anything particularly new, but it's nice to have confirming things like the conversation with Albert and Tammy and Gordon. It's just cool kind of see some of the pieces come together, and I felt like this moved forward more than a lot of the other episodes. Yeah.
Really? I felt last week moved forward and this week ground to a halt.
Yeah, this didn't move as much as last week, but definitely more than the week before, I think. So, yeah. And, yeah, I don't know. I still have hope that we'll sort of come together with somewhat of a satisfying ending, but there's just so many random scenes that, yeah, I realize that it may not. So,
Caitlin?
What?
I respect your slightly different opinion.
Thank you. I am naively optimistic. I know.
You should spoke up when we were just bashing the whole episode. You should have been like, actually, guys, I like this.
I couldn't really disagree with things you said necessarily, but there were things that, I don't know, just overall I felt like it wasn't a bad episode. If anything, I am extremely amused by just wacky stuff, so yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I'd give this one maybe 7 out of 10 homemade turkey jerkies.
I already spoke about my feelings about this episode at length. 3 out of 10 characters we don't care about.
Only 3?
Brad.
I think the problem with this episode is, well, last episode was really good. And I think this one's fine. It's just nothing happens. And I think we're definitely getting frustrated that nothing is still happening, because not very much has happened in the entire series. At this point, I don't even think about this as a series or a show anymore. It's just a collection of scenes. Yeah. And I enjoyed Sarah Palmer. I enjoyed Hawk. I love Jerry finally getting out of the woods. So there were likable things. I like Dr. Amp, even though he was just another cut of the same scene. I just like the character. I like seeing him. I'll take anything entertaining at this point. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need a coherent story, a plot. I accept that character development will be slim. I'll just take, if I like the collection of scenes, I'm okay with it. That's all I'm asking for at this point. Those are my expectations, and if that's wrong, well, fuck off. So I'm okay with this one. We've had so many episodes that were much worse. This one is just nothing happens is the problem. So I'll say 6 out of 10 soap operas happening that I wish we could see.
I gotta say one thing though. I think that the Sarah Palmer stuff in this episode was some of the best in this series so far.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Just it wasn't very much of the episode.
Yeah.
Why wasn't a lot of these scenes? And again, just to go back to the whole thing of the order of the scenes, I feel like we keep seeing scenes that I feel like should have been in like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, like which.
Like the Sarah Palmer freaking out in the grocery store. Put that in the first episode. Sold.
Right.
We spent so long not in Twin Peaks, and we've got this setup with this. We got this Audrey setup. There was a lot of these scenes that are seemingly just thrown out of nowhere. Like, I don't. Why couldn't we have had them earlier on?
Took until episode 11 to find out the marital status of Shelley and Bobby.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, sorry. One last thing. Carl Rod.
Go ahead.
Carl Rod.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
That
too.
scene was great.
Right. Sorry. Agreed. No.
I'm trying to like figure out what percentage of the show I actually enjoyed and what percentage I didn't, and I'm gonna rate it based on that. I really didn't like most of this episode.
Are you gonna be rounding to like every 10%, or are you gonna go like exact percentages here?
I'm gonna have really wacky math. I'll say one out of 6,000 languages spoken on Earth today.
Wow, you really disliked it.
It's probably it's probably like a 2 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'd say like 20% of this episode was enjoyable. The other 80 was just terrible. Yeah.
All right, let's get to our feedbackers. I sent some audio to you, Brad, and let's start with Daniel while you get that going. Caitlin, do you mind reading it?
Sure. Alrighty. Hey Twin Peaks podcast. I know I didn't write feedback the last few weeks. Really, it's just because the episodes didn't leave me with a whole lot to write about, so I figured I'd save the space for those with something more substantial to say. Still great as always listening along to the show, though. Carl Rod's new sign reads, 9:30, never before! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. If I'm remembering the sign from the film correctly, that means he gives himself an extra half an hour now.
Nice.
Well, he is much older now, so kind of deserves it.
He adds a minute every year.
Okay. Matt, didn't you think Twin Peaks looked just right in this episode? The heavy gray damp air in the scene when Hawk went up to the Palmer house with Laura's theme hauntingly rumbling in the background?
Yes.
That scene took me right back to the pilot. If it was like, yes, Twin Peaks isn't supposed to be sunny even when Washington State is in real life, damn it. Brad, I'm with you. Albert delivering exposition about how the origin of the film's Blue Rose cases lies in unresolved UFOs and the induction of Tammy into the super secret club felt like yet another case of sucking the magic and mystique right out of it for me.
Yep.
I like the mysteries of Twin Peaks when they stay surreal and inexplicable, not reduced to digestible paranormal genre when we're treated to matter-of-fact rules about doppelgangers and the Black Lodge, a 1940s atomic bomb as the origin event for Bob's arrival onto our planet, or Bill Hastings' campy but dry exposition all about his search for the zone and how it's an alternate dimension where Major Briggs has been hiding. Contrary to your earlier condemnations of the secret history as completely irrelevant, I feel like The Return has too much of that in it now.
Yeah.
And I have a bad feeling that if some of these same ideas had come up in mid to late season 2, where people could blame names like Harley Payton or Robert Ingalls, everyone would find this stuff far more sillier and out of place. But it's Lynch behind the camera and Frost on the keyboard. There's no excuse. Twin Peaks feels like it has become the X-Files. And I never, ever wanted that. Thanks and stay strong, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for the well wishes.
Listen, I've said a lot of negative things about this season of Twin Peaks, but it's so much better than the new season of X-Files. I would rewatch episode 8 before I would rewatch that racist episode of the X-Files that came out. Oh.
Brad, do you want to play one of those two voicemails?
Sure. Oh, hold up.
The one that says Chris feedback is from Chris, and the one that says no name is from Luke.
All right. This is No Name Luke.
Hello everyone, it's Luke here. It's about 4:30 in the morning, so I apologize in advance for the messiness of this. I have very mixed feelings about the episode because on the one hand there was a lot of great stuff with Sarah Palmer. I really loved the scene between Ben Horne and Frank Truman, and it was great to finally see Audrey, but I was just so confused. There were so many names being thrown about, and honestly, for an episode called Let's Rock, I was disappointed because I was expecting something like the dream scene from the end of episode 3 of the first series, or some big change like in Fire Walk With Me when you hear Let's Rock. That was the transition between Deerhorn and Twin Peaks, but for a lot of this it just felt pretty haphazard. Overall, I would give it 4 awkward conversations in the roadhouse between randomers out of 10. All best.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Thanks,
you.
Luke. Luke sounded like he was hiding in his house.
It was 4 in the morning.
He was.
Try not to wake people, I imagine.
He's probably he's probably in a closet somewhere.
Well, Luke is very polite.
Aww.
Somebody want to volunteer to read this one from Harold?
I can do it.
Okay.
Of all the episodes this season, this one felt the most like a random grouping of scenes taken from an 18-hour movie, but to use Stephanie's word, it was still, quote, compelling.
Oh boy.
Some of the scenes seemed so random, like the Carl Rod or Roadhouse scenes. What was the purpose of those scenes besides informing us that Carl Rod doesn't like people giving blood to earn some cash, or that some person we haven't met is cheating on another person we haven't met? Which brings me to Audrey. My god, how I have missed Sherilyn Fenn, but I don't understand why they delayed her appearance until episode 12. If it wasn't going to serve some big dramatic reveal, it almost seems like a fuck you to her of almost evolution of the arm proportions to have her married to the least interesting, least dynamic person in the history of the show. This is the woman who once declared, "I'm Audrey Horne and I get what I want." She wanted Charlie? Even Ernie Niles would have been a better choice.
No, disagree.
And who were they talking about? Were they talking Richard by some other name? No.
No, they're talking about Billy. Billy.
Billy.
She doesn't want to fuck Richard. That's her son, you freak.
No. Although that would be very like a messed up soap opera if she did.
Oh,
That's a real messed up soap opera.
My favorite scene of the episode was the one with Ben Horne, reminiscing about the bicycle his dad gave him, and how Richard had to grow up without a father. Does this mean that Charlie wasn't around when Richard was growing up? Or that he was around but wasn't much of a father?
Guess so.
Speaking of weak parental figures, I wonder how many times Sonny Jim beaned Dougie before he let him back into the house.
Enough to have his fun.
Yes. Is Sarah Palmer possessed? Who or what was in her house making that noise? The ceiling fan? The white horse? There's a white horse doing dishes.
Oh, if Sarah Palmer's living in a straight up Mr. Ed scenario. That would be great.
Yeah.
I am very curious where they are going with Diane. The way she entered through the red curtains and the soundtrack noise when she says "Let's rock" are obvious clues that she isn't just texting buddies with Mr. C. She has something to do with the Red Room.
Most likely.
Thanks, Harold.
Merci. I'm glad you liked it.
You mean merci?
Merci.
Oh boy.
Somebody want to read one from Ryan?
Hello, Twin Peaks podcast. How are you today? I thought this episode was going to have a lot of promise. Knowing the title of the episode was Let's Rock, which is spoken each episode, I was hoping for some interesting Black Lodge stuff. Diane yelling it out was an overacted letdown. It was interesting that Tammy was gleeful about being initiated into the Blue Rose task force after being told by Albert that everyone else on the task force, except himself, has disappeared. Did anyone think like me that Tammy will have a similar exit like Chet Desmond and Philip Jeffries? Fingers crossed. Did Sonny Jim really expect Dougie Coop to catch that ball? I mean, part of him surely did. The conversation between Ben Horne and Truman was great. Ben is a great underutilized character. I want to see more of him. Seems like the entire internet is in agreement that Audrey's first appearance was a huge letdown. Nothing like entering toward the end of the movie and starting up a new storyline and introducing several faceless new characters. Until next time. P.S. I could watch Jerry Horn running out of the forest all day. Maybe that will be my new screensaver.
Yes.
Nice.
It's time to GIF.
Yeah.
Question. So, back to the Blue Rose thing. So, I guess Kiefer Sutherland never made the cut.
No,
Guess
she
not.
wasn't in the club.
Oh, poor old
Sorry,
guy.
Sam Stanley.
Oh,
I do like they mentioned Chet though.
yeah.
Well, Kiefer, remember, he wasn't really, because, like,
Nobody
Chet
liked
wouldn't...
him.
Well, Chet wouldn't tell him anything,
Yeah.
like, in the movie, and he was always, like, trying to figure stuff out. So, yeah, I don't think he was a part of that club.
Cooper gave him the cold shoulder. And
Yeah,
the missing
Cooper didn't like
pieces.
him either.
Also, I feel like old TP like put together this whole dossier. How much more like in the club do you have to be be an actual member? Like,
Well,
you get
the
a lot
men
of
have to
information.
give you permission, Brad.
Yeah, I guess. Hey.
All right, do you want to play Chris's feedback?
Sure. Sorry, who was that email from that I read?
Oh, that was Ryan.
Oh, thanks, Ryan.
Mercy.
Yes, thank you, Ryan.
Hi guys, this is Chris. Tammy dyed her hair. Did Tammy dye her hair? She must have dyed her hair because I never noticed it being that red, and it was like the color of sangria. It was wicked red. So I think she's turning into the Dark Phoenix, and that's probably why she's being so awkward. And Gordon and Albert are X-Men, or at the very least they're Inhumans. I didn't love this episode. It was a step down from last week, at least in terms of plot. But there was a nice moment. When Hawk first goes over to Sarah Palmer's house, that scene is preceded by a classic transition. We get some Badalamenti music and a transition shot of the mountains and the fog, and it felt just for a second like we were watching Twin Peaks. And then it was over. I'm not going to talk about Lynch wrapping himself up in that French woman, because I'm sure you guys already handled that. He's a pig, pure and simple. But I do like the idea that wherever Gordon goes, he just gets an escort and keeps her up all night telling her war stories. That made me laugh. Kind of like in Lethal Weapon when Riggs gets a hooker and he watches Three Stooges with her.
Oh my God.
And I will close by saying that I miss the original series endings. This episode just fizzles out with characters we've never met using names we've never heard of other characters we've never met. And I don't understand why we're watching it. You telling me that's the best ending that you could come up with for this episode? That's a load of balls. It's almost over, you guys. It's almost over. All right, keep it real.
Mercy. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. This is Chris.
Alrighty, and our last one is from Matt A.
What a marathon!
Where do we start?
It's curtains for you, Diane.
Oh, okay. Alright, this is from Matt. It's curtains for you, Diane. That was bad, I admit it. But when I wrote it down in my notes, I made myself chuckle. I'll also enjoy hearing you read my dumb observations back to me, and even though you may groan and grimace your way through this feedback, I shall be amused. Dance, my little feedback monkeys, dance! Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. We haven't seen Grace Zabriskie since the early days of The Return, and wow, does she make all the faces. I like to imagine she took a side gig testing facial capture software, and someone is whispering in her ear, "That was amazing, Grace. Do 20 more. Now do 30 more."
I think Krista Bell was doing the same thing too during her scenes.
What about a
facial
French woman?
French
Those were some
woman too.
faces.
She was really out
David
there.
Lynch just hires women that make faces. I was gonna call out Johnny Oshner as the bag boy. I know where she lives. I can deliver them, I guess. One of the quippy things I wrote in my notes was, "But you can't deliver that line, can you punk?" Now I feel bad because after watching this train wreck, I feel confident this kid was working without a script. Lynch and Frost showed up that day completely unprepared. I can attest to the fact that it's difficult to produce good material on a short deadline. Read between the lines, Twin Peaks podcast.
I'm sorry. We're sorry for a Monday recording.
Listen, I'm going out of town. I'm sorry.
And you did miss one of his points, which was Sarah Palmer doesn't buy bottom shelf vodka either. She's grabbing 750s of Smirnoff.
Sorry. Back into the mix. Way too much Dougie.
No. Aw.
This was the correct amount of Dougie.
Yeah.
Just show him getting hit in the head. I'm fine with it. The scene between Ben and Frank was lovely. I like this version of Ben, kind and introspective. But of course the scene lasted twice as long as it should have, until it puttered to its merciful end. Mark Frost. David, I wrote a scene in which a beautiful French woman is draped over you as you both lounge on a sofa. Is that alright? I'll assume by your erection that you approve.
Oh, God.
What if those cheese snacks weren't in the script, are from the prop department, but Jennifer Jason Leigh just brought them to set and was like, I'm eating these. No, it's not a character choice. It's a Jennifer Jason Leigh thing. 2 years from now...
2 years?
2 years from now, when they write in my obituary, it'll say Jennifer Jason Leigh acted and stuff sometimes, ate cheese snacks often.
2 years? Where are you getting that number, man?
Ouch! Listen, you eat enough cheese snacks.
Yeah.
Oy. Next stop, Wendy's is my favorite line in the history of Twin Peaks. I'm sure Wendy's appreciates the mention. Next time you're enjoying your Frosty, think of the time a boy ran outside his house and found his dear dad splayed on the ground, gunshot wounds to the back. Although isn't nihilism more of an Arby's thing?
Isn't Wendy's the one that is like trolls people hardcore on
No, that's
Twitter?
Arby's.
Is it Arby's?
That's why
You sure?
That's why he said that.
Okay, I thought maybe Wendy's was doing it too.
Wendy's just has, at least in Canada, their sizes for their Frosties are just too small.
They're too small?
Yeah, like they have really big drinks in Canada. Like in Canada, we don't have as big soft drinks as they do in the States, but Wendy's seems to have like state-sized soft drinks, but tiny Frosties.
I would love to do a comparison of Wendy's soda sizes here versus Canada, because here they're stupidly large. Like the small is like large.
I think we're probably headed your way, like eventually. Like we always follow suit with the States when it comes to stuff like that.
Oy.
You're the
Unfortunately.
test market for us.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
America leads the way in comically large drinks.
Real bum. Oh yeah. A coworker just spotted me in the lunchroom typing and laughing to myself. Whatever you're doing can't be work related. You look like you're having too much fun. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with myself, I replied. This feedback is pure stream of consciousness nonsense. Like this episode! Exclamation point. So I'm in good company.
Okay.
Mark Frost. Fuck. David, I'm sorry to tell you, but after I spent days writing this fantastic scene between Audrey and her husband, my computer glitched and I lost the whole fucking thing. Do you think anyone would notice if we asked the actress to improvise for 20 minutes?
Oh my god.
Do you approve? I guess you do, judging by your erection. Also, why do you keep showing me that thing? We were all eager for Audrey's return. The fact that she was kept on the sidelines for so long meant her eventual return, or eventual reveal, would be significant. It will probably relate to Cooper waking up and signal a major shift in the storyline, right? Right? I don't think any of us expected a quick cut from Dr. Amp to Audrey standing in a room like it was no big deal. Then a weird thing happens. The excitement of seeing Audrey is displaced by a strong dislike for the scene itself. Honestly, I stopped listening after 5 minutes because I couldn't follow what they were saying. Slow, meandering. I wrote painful in my notes a few times. This scene was my episode 8. Oh. Harsh! Harsh! Back at the Roadhouse, more monsters drinking beer straight from bottles. There is so much good craft beer in Washington, and they're drinking Heineken. Can all Dutch people stop listening to podcasts for like 2 seconds? Fuck Heineken. I saw some comments on the internet that this is a return to the soap opera-esque tone of the original Twin Peaks. This was very Invitation to Love-ish, maybe? Definitely not.
Not even.
No, those were fun and delightful. Yeah. These were just people talking at each other. Let me see these things happening. I don't care if it has nothing to do with the mystery. Let me just watch soap opera happening. Fine. At least it's humans interacting with humans. But back to the email. After the Audrey debacle, I had given up on this episode. I did find a photo of the guy who plays Trick, a bloke by the name of Scotty Coffee. He and Naomi Watts, both members of David Lynch's cult, were in a movie together called Tank Girl. Oh, I've attached a photo of them. I realize this is a podcast, and so your listeners can't see this photo, so I'd like Mel to describe the photo as best she can. But, and here comes a very specific direction, I want her to describe the photo in French. Speak, my little podcast monkey.
Oh my goodness.
Why in French?
Because the French lady. I don't know. Okay. Describe it in French, Mel.
I'm not describing it in French. Fuck you, Matt.
You've gone too far.
You've gone too far. I can describe the photo in English, though. It's Naomi Watts? Is that Naomi Watts? Wearing, like, I don't know.
Oxygen mask?
Oxygen mask. She looks like she's giving the finger with the oxygen mask on. She's wearing these really ugly 90s glasses. And then there's like this guy is wearing like a werewolf face.
He's a dog man.
He's a dog man, but he's like a hippie dog man because he's got like a beaded necklace. He's got tattoos. He's got a wig on. What is going on?
They're like have bowling pins going up a thing in the background.
What was this movie? Oh, Tank Girl. That's
Tank Girl? Yeah.
There's dog people in Tank Girl?
What's Tank Girl about?
I don't really know.
I don't want to know at this point. After seeing that photo, I don't want to know.
I mean, if it was just the Naomi Watts half, I'd watch it. But not the dog man half.
There's bowling pins in the background, too. What is going on?
Hey, guys.
Yep.
I think reading this email is your episode 8.
Yes, let's continue.
Okay, hopefully that happened. Well, partially. Wow, this feedback is long and terrible. But that is what you get for demanding feedback for a Monday recording. I'm really putting a fine point on it, in case you failed to read between the lines earlier. This episode was a raging dumpster fire, but you guys are great. Toodles.
Aw, he just redeemed himself, bastard.
You redeemed yourself, bastard.
Gave us a compliment, warmed my heart again.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone who was able to get their feedback. Oh,
there's more.
Another one.
There's like last minute.
Just off the wire.
Just off the wire. I'll read this one from Sean. I think I'm too late yet again, but in case not, here's my quick take on part 12. I bought into the hype and thought it would be an all-time great episode because of the title and a lot of actors on Twitter promoting it extra hard, and especially with it airing during the Twin Peaks Fest weekend and all. But man, was I disappointed. Easily my least favorite episode of Season 3. Some of it was interesting, but everything went on too long. I want to know how many times the actor said the same lines more than once. I generally enjoy and find humor in the played-out, extended classic Lynch scenes when they feel unique. I love the sweeping of the Roadhouse a few parts back. But having like 6 of those scenes in one episode? Snooze fest. To me, having them so often, they don't feel earned, just annoying. Maybe I'll feel differently if I rewatch it with my expectations in the cellar. Oh, and Dr. Jacoby, are we sure we haven't seen this same broadcast like 3 times now?
Yep.
Seriously, was this one different? If so, how? Barely. One last thing. Your guest last week. Man, could she talk. Dougie getting hit in the chest with the
what is
baseball. Dougie getting hit in the chest with the baseball had more airtime than the rest of you combined did last podcast.
I mean, I love listening to Steph, though. I mean, yes, Steph does like to talk a lot, but that's what I love about her. Yeah. She has some really good opinions to share.
Yeah.
I'm happy she's happy.
Not every guest will be for every listener.
Exactly.
But seriously, I do not understand the extreme Lynch apologists. It's like he can do no wrong in the mind of some. The conclusions they draw just to protect their stance baffled me. I'm a huge fan of David Lynch. I really like Part 8 as a piece of art and respect the risk involved. I'm glad it's there, but I feel no need to enjoy every single thing he does. There could be something as simple as a continuity error where a character's foot goes from facing one way to another as the camera cuts to a different angle, and some fans would create a theory about how the Black Lodge altered the foot before they admit that David Lynch is a human and makes mistakes. Yep. Anyways,
But
great
Jerry,
podcast.
Jerry said that it wasn't his foot.
Yeah, exactly. Sean. Anyways, great podcast. I always look forward to your feedback, positive and negative, and your humor.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sean. All right, we are running along again. Evan, do you have any plugs? Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me back after. What was it? Was it the Mulholland Drive episode?
Yeah.
We would have you back. We would have you back on the show anytime. Who cares about what people say?
I mean, I clearly don't. But no, it's always fun to be on. I don't have anything to plug because
Okay.
very little of what I do is interesting. So
Oh, that's not true.
look, I am not okay. Do you want to start this over? Because it feels like I'm fishing for compliments, but I am just being like,
No, let's just leave it as is.
I've always said you were a real boring fucking asshole.
thanks, Brad.
Anytime,
There you go.
friend.
There, you happy now, Evan? You happy?
Happy holidays.
Yes.
Speaking of happy holidays, Facebook informed me today that me and Evan are celebrating 5 years of Facebook friendship today.
Aw,
So adorable.
Happy holidays, guys.
Hey, Brad. I didn't buy you a goddamn thing.
I would never buy you anything.
Best friends.
All right. Brad, what do you have to plug?
Yeah, you can hear me on Calavici Fashion Cast talking about Quantum Leap with Tammy and Claire. The next episode coming out will be about the episode Boogeyman, which is wacky fun, and the devil's in it. Spoiler alert. So check that out. Also, you can hear me on the Ramjack podcast. We just finished up Christmas in July. We watched a real nightmare Christmas special. I have no idea what's going to be on the next episode because it was being recorded as we recorded this podcast, and I will not be on it. But still, check it out.
Oh, crazy.
Alrighty. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
I mean, I won't.
Right, you won't.
Doppelganger.
Double
This-
living.
This anti-doppelganger policy is hurting us all.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on twitter.com/TwinPeaksCast. Search for the Twin Peaks Podcast group on Facebook, and visit us on twinpeakspodcast.blogspot.com. Email your feedback to twinpeakspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah,